It's the after talk.
After talk.
It is the after
What's
talk.
up? I'm meeting after Crossroads. What's up? After Crossroads.
It's the after talk, y'all. It's the after talk. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, hello, and how are you doing? Welcome to Upward and Onward Presents our meeting at the Crossroads music series, After Talk. Now, the After Talk is where we actually get a chance to go back a little bit and focus in on some of the interviews that we had earlier in the year with some of the artists. So sit back, relax, snap on the seatbelt, do whatever you got to do, grab some popcorn because we're about to get nitty gritty and get a little bit around the edges of things, if you know what I mean. I call her simply Sam. Samantha is a Canadian South African singer who has a passion for musical theater. After working for Norwegian Cruise Line as a principal singer for 2 contracts and having a short stint living in New York City, Sam then booked her first national tour as Joanne in the 20th anniversary tour of Rent. She is now enjoying her time off during the pandemic, just kicking it with her husband Jimmy, but can't wait to get back on stage singing, dancing, and telling stories.
The person who inspired me to get into singing was actually my mom, Rebecca. She's a beautiful singer, and growing up, she sang in competitions, and we sang around the house and in the car. We always doing karaoke in the basement. So, I owe all that to my mom. My top 3 singing inspirations are Celine Dion, Eva Cassidy, and of course, Beyonce.
All right. We are back at it, folks. Feels like we were just here. Probably because we just were just the other day. Yeah. Anyways, always tune in with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays for part 1 and part 2 of each episode with the artists that we've gotten a chance to score an exclusive interview with and get their story their way.
So who's up next, D?
Today we get a chance to interview and talk with my really good friend, Samantha. I call her simply Sam, and the reason I call her that is because of her talent. Her kind heart, her silliness, her intuitive spirit, her beautiful smile, and just her Sam-like way. All of those great things just make her simply Sam. Today we get a chance to talk to her about some of her recent activities and accomplishments.
Hey, Darren, I got my drink, man. You got yours?
Oh, don't think I forgot about my chosen poison. Shout out to Bush Beer. I know, like, what the hell? I just felt like sharing a 6-pack of brew with the fam, and I chose Bush. I don't know why, just did.
Yeah, we know.
Don't judge me, B. Once again, for the people that are just tuning in, that's my co-host, Bruno Diaz from New Jersey. And I'm your host with the most, Darren Lorenzo from the ATL, shout it. You know what it is. Anyways, let's get on with it, and let's see what Sam's got to say. So, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Everybody, this is my good friend, Samantha. Can you pronounce for the ladies and gentlemen your last name so I don't mess it up? Because I'll feel like a fool as long as we've known each other to mess it up. But can you pronounce for them? And then we're going to go into something about that after you say that.
Yes, my last name is Mbolekwa.
Look at it. See? Look at it. Now, and that originates from, is that South Africa?
Yeah, South Africa.
Now, your father's from South Africa, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What part?
Oh, I should know that. I'm always confused whether it's Pretoria or Johannesburg because I have family in both.
Okay. So we'll stay somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
Now, are you like second generation or now was he born there?
Yeah, no, he was born in South Africa in 62. And then I'm not sure what year it was they moved to England because the apartheid was happening.
Wow.
And to get into this long story and making it short, my grandfather worked for the ANC and he was exiled from the country. So he had to flee to Africa. And then my grandma and her children joined a few years later. And then they moved to Canada. And that's how I was born.
So you were born in Canada?
Yeah.
Where do you live? I live in a house, a beautiful house.
What part of Canada?
Northern Ontario. That's a lie. I grew up in Northern Ontario. I was born in like the middle of Canada in a province called Alberta.
Alberta. I know Alberta.
Yeah.
Yeah. What place in Alberta?
It's called Cold Lake, and
Cold
it's
Lake.
a small military-based town. I haven't been back since I was born.
All right. Now, is your dad in the military?
He was. He retired.
Okay. No, I met your dad. He's a really nice guy. Well, I think I met him a couple times. I met him before.
Yeah, I think you have met him a couple times.
Yeah, I actually met him a couple times. But so, and you're now living in LA, correct?
Yes.
with
Just
your
outside of
husband?
LA. Yeah.
With your husband,
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy and I.
Jimmy's cool. So I met you, I think, what was it, like 2016?
Correct.
Was it?
Yeah.
On the Norwegian Sky.
Yeah.
Which,
Oh, yes, that was so nice when you joined our cast.
it was such a treat for me too, because you guys were so welcoming, and I remember going to see you guys at the sail away party up on the pool deck, and I was trying to hide over in the corner just to watch you guys. It was up, and you guys were already pointing, and I was like, uh-oh.
You're like, oh, they spotted me.
They spotted me. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. So now, what brought you to LA? Now, is that where Jimmy was living before, or is that something you guys plan to do once you?
Yeah. Well, okay. So in 2011, I joined a college out here in Corona, California.
Okay.
Yeah, 17, I joined them. And then 2 years later, I met Jimmy while I was at the school. Ever since then, like, I feel like living here has just kind of always been in the books for me and Jimmy because it works for our careers.
Yeah.
Before I leave, I love margins and discipline. I make lists in my sleep, baby. What's my sin? Never quit. I follow through. I hate mess, but I love you. What to do with my impromptu, baby? So be wise, cause this girl satisfies. You got a prize, so don't compromise. You're unlucky, baby. Take me.
It's so unfortunate, and it's so sad for us as well as a lot of our friends that are having to make either different transitions into some other type of work or just completely on limbo and in pause because Broadway's now been pushed to next year of an opening, and that's just what they're planning for at this moment. We don't know if that's
Right.
going to happen before or after. So it's really sad. But I was going to say, what were you doing before the pandemic? I know you were touring with the 20th anniversary tour?
Yeah. The fourth leg of the 20th anniversary tour of Rent.
Fourth leg of the 20th anniversary tour of Rent. Now, how is that? How was that? How's that?
Oh my gosh. It was such an adventure. It was my first tour.
Okay.
I mean, it was my first tour since I did college tours, which were like 3 months. But yeah, no, it was an amazing experience. And I feel like I really learned so much. And I mean, doing Rent was really special because the show holds such a deep and honest meaning that still rings true to today. And it's close to me and my family. And so I had a great time with Rent. I'm really sad it ended when it did. We finished in Colorado, and the audience in Colorado felt like a closing night audience. It was just odd.
Yeah.
I feel like my cup is very full from Rent in a good way.
That was such a great thing. I actually got a chance to see you in the show, I want to say about 3 times. I saw you maybe twice in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, and then once in Georgia, my home.
Oh, yeah, our opening.
I'm actually right now quarantined in my mom's house. It's March since the quarantine.
Aww.
And, sometimes it's, we get on each other's nerves. Like, we just got through yelling at each other because she wanted barbecue and chicken for the 4th, and she waited for the last minute to try to make these orders for some of these restaurants that she loves. They just happened to be sold out or they're full, and so she went through hell and high water and finally got her some chicken wings from someplace. But I'm trying to start this meeting, and she's telling me to come to the door to help her with a bunch of stuff. And I was like, "What do you do when I'm not?" Like, when I'm not here, how do you get around? Why is it now?
That's funny. You're like, if I wasn't here, Mom.
What would you do? And it's not that I have a problem helping, but it's just like, it's always at the worst time. It's always at the worst time. So we're trying to learn how to be up under the roof because she's grown. I'm grown. I mean, I'm not out. And I think she still views me as 16, 17-year-old Darren. And that is so far removed from where I'm at right now.
It's also so strange. Like, we're living a way of life that none of us have lived before. It's crazy.
Tell me what's wrong with me. My body, face, my hair. Tell me all my many faults. Tell me like you care when we both know you're cruel and we both know you're right. I could listen to you like a fool all night. What's wrong with me? How I speak, how I dress. What's wrong with me? You keep me guessing.
Oh, yeah, hey, buddy.
Do you talk like that when you're back in Canada?
Okay, before I moved to the States, I definitely had a thicker Canadian accent. Like when I speak to my sister or my mom on FaceTime, I can really hear them like, oh yeah, no, for sure. Eh? Like they really sound, it's sweet. I still say A sometimes and beg, and I don't say sorry anymore because when I came out here in 2011 for school, all the Americans are like, oh my God, you say sorry. You're so Canadian. I was like, I'm going to have to fix that.
Yeah, we're going to fix that really quick. Nah, that's cool. So what else have you been up to? What have you been doing since the pandemic started? I know you did a recording with one of your castmates who played your other half. Actually.
Yeah, me and Kelsey Swaggart, who was Maureen, did a cover of Take Me or Leave Me. It was about 2.5 weeks after quarantine started or COVID kicked off.
Yeah.
Miss Rona took to the streets.
Yeah, Miss Rona.
Yeah, other than that, like I've just been kind of taking it easy and trying to enjoy having nothing to do.
Mm-hmm. Are you're mostly a soprano?
I would put myself with mezzo soprano.
Mezzo soprano.
Yeah.
A lot of high belting and a lot of other higher notes and things like that.
High sounds.
But then, high sounds. But then Joanne was a little bit, and I won't say a stretch, but she was a lot of your Lorien, correct?
Yeah. When I didn't realize it until we got into rehearsals, and I realized like, oh, everything Joanne sings is mezzo alto. Like it. For me, I feel like my voice is just a very youthful kind of sounding voice. And and so Joanne was and still is a vocal learning bit for me because, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm forcing my notes out lower. I have the range, it just doesn't sit in my sweet spot, if you will. But luckily, Tim Whale, I'm bad with his last name. Sorry, Tim, our music director. He put me on all the soprano harmonies when I wasn't singing solo. So
that's cool.
That was nice.
You were able to sit somewhere comfortable that felt like home.
At some point, yeah.
Speak on a little bit of this what is it called? Stairway sessions, or what is it called?
So David Malachowski, which I think his last name should be pronounced Malachowski, but that's another conversation we should have. He is like the coolest person in a band I've ever gotten to work with. He's been playing guitar for Rent and with cast members of the original Broadway cast of Rent for a really long time. He was like, hey Sam, like we gotta jam, like we just gotta do it, pick a song, let's do it. And I'm like, my armpits start getting sweaty. I'm like, you want to sing with me? He was Shania Twain's guitarist at the start of her career. Like any 90s video of Shania, he's the guitar player in the back. He's like, let's jam. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he was just like, pick a song. And I was like, all right, well, my mom raised me on a lot of like blues and country. And I love Bonnie Raitt. I mean, blues is great for guitar players to play. So I was like, Dave, let's do this song. He's like, okay, let's just find a place to do it. And we tried to find like a bunch of hallways at this really beautiful theater, but they were too busy. And so we just found a stairwell. And this was probably like 15 minutes before we got our half-hour call. And we were just sitting in the stairwell recording.
Jamming, yeah. Like your pre-warm-up ritual.
Basically.
That's cool. Now, what are some artists that you've been majorly influenced by?
One artist that I realized I left out was Whitney Houston.
Okay.
I mean, she is just, I look up to her so much.
Whatever you want, whatever you need, anything you want done, baby, I'll do it naturally.
Whitney Houston, Eva Cassidy. Who else can I throw in there? Definitely Beyonce, Alicia Keys, Stevie Wonder.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's cool because I know you said your mom brought you up on like Bonnie Raitt and stuff like that.
I know.
That's cool. So these are good. He's a great artist. These are people that have established themselves very well in the music industry. So to follow behind you is definitely a treat. And I mean, I'm always wowed by your talent and your voice whenever you sing.
Oh,
I know you said you have a
thanks.
really youthful sound, and I remember hearing that when I joined the Norwegian Sky, and I was like, wow, this girl is really amazing. Okay. And I just think
Oh, I bet.
people are definitely going to be blessed with hearing your sound. And I think the level of your career is only starting. I think it's going to keep climbing, and people are going to be,
Thanks.
it's really a treat. It's really a treat to hear and see you perform. I think it's going to
Thank
be
you.
great stuff.
That means a lot coming from you. I mean,
Thanks.
when you joined our cast, I remember everyone was like, hold on a minute. We have to share the stage with somebody who has like that. So I'm serious. I tell people all the time whenever your name gets brought up, you inspired me. I remember being on stage with you. Like, you really pushed me to get better. So let me throw your name into the mix, Darren.
You're funny. Simply Sam, I call her. And I just want to thank you for joining us today. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Always love, and give my love to Jimmy as well. All right.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
All right.
Tes yeux qui font baisser la mienne, le bruit qui se perd sur sa bouche. Voilà les portraits sans retouche, tes larmes à quel j'appartiens. Quand Dieu me prend dans ses bras, qu'il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur, où n'est pas de bonheur, dont je connais la cause.
See there? I told you she was sweet. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Such a pleasure hearing her story and listening to her beautiful gift. I sure hope this pandemic lifts soon so she's able to share that gift and bless people even more with other amazing shows like Rent. South African and Canadian. Makes a good mix. Okay, now. Well, I'm off to have an adult beverage. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I said no judging, B.
This guy.
I know alcohol is never the answer, but it can make you forget the question. Remember, vision without execution is a hallucination. Thomas Edison. Right, B?
Yeah, okay, man.
Well, it's been real. Bruno is checked out, so we done, and this is After Talk, y'all. I'll holler.
Will I lose my dignity? Will someone care?
Well, on behalf of Upward and Onward Productions, we'd like to thank you for hanging out for our meeting at the Crossroads, After Talk. Now, your attention and time is much appreciated, and we look forward to having you checking in for more later on. Remember, success is only an arm's length away. Stay safe, stay home if you can, and if not, keep practicing social distance with a healthy and cautious way of life. Upward and Onward, folks.
After talk. What's the haps? What's the scoop? What's going on? After talk.
It's the After Talk.